everything short of wiring the electronics themselves, here's the kit and go. So once they actually have it done, I'll take pictures and videos and put them up on Twitter. But it's one of those things I'm really excited about, just because it's 7th and 8th graders learning how to solder and wire and code and just make things that light up and beep.
We never could have afforded it, but I wish my brother had had you for a teacher, because we aren't Galloway school kind of people. But anyway.
If I wasn't teaching there, well, both of my boys are at Woodstock Middle and Woodstock High.
Oh, so. Yeah, we talked about that, because I was a Woodstock Middle girl for a while, like 6 years of my teaching career. So anyway, that's, yeah, familiar territory. So for those of you who haven't met Beth, so I think Nicole's new this. No, Nicole, you joined us a little late last time. But let me introduce you to Beth, Mark. She teaches in Florida. Last time I said Louisiana because I was thinking of something different. But anyway, she teaches right near my daddy, we decided. So if I ever go visit my dad like he would really love, then I'm going to pop over and see Beth. So anyway. Yes.
Hi.
and I know Beth just via last week, but they did an article about her gamified classroom in Schoology. So anyway, yeah. I'm waiting for Steve to join in, and I'm going to make sure my dogs are contained so the big one doesn't bite the little one. So give me just a second.
So how are you using Schoology and going about the whole process through there?
Well, I just kind of structured my class in a more gamified way by breaking standards up into quests and then breaking quests up into individual missions. Okay. And we don't really operate by a grading system anymore. It's an XP-AP system. And, just basically taking the elements of video games and implementing it in my instruction.
That is awesome. Very cool.
Hopefully when we take our exam in a couple of months, this year will go well.
Well, the book that I've been handing around to everyone I can put their hands on it. It's called Getting Gamers by Jamie Madigan. Mm-hmm. He's a clinical psychologist, but he's also a real hardcore gamer. Mm-hmm. And what he's done is he'll take different aspects of the gaming experience and explain the psychology of what's happening when that happens. And so he talks about why going on a quest is so important and why we remember things when we have that epic win moment so much more than just studying for a test. So my money's on, when you take it, you're going to see the scores significantly higher than those who don't.
They've been better the last couple years, so I'm hoping we keep going in that progression, especially now that so much attention's being brought to it. So this year I'm kind of following my students around okay, we really got to get it together this year. We got a lot riding on it. Was the rest of the title, I was trying to look it up on my phone while you were talking about it, The Psychology of Video Games and Their Impact?
That's him, yeah.
All right.
Yep.
I had that bookmarked then.
Yep.
Okay, well, I asked Nicole, I have a OneNote notebook. I'm going to share I just shared the link with you guys all via email, I think, except for Mark because I didn't have your email. So I'm going to post it right here in the chat again. But anyway, if you don't love OneNote, it's one of my favorite things. Do y'all OneNote? Anybody? Vicki better say yes. She's Cherokee. Beth, are you a OneNote girl?
We're Google people.
Google? Boo. No, I'm just kidding. I really don't hate Google, but I have to pretend to hate Google for my job.
And I have to pretend to hate OneNote because I'm a Google certified trainer and everything. So
that's me. I'm an MIE expert, so we're enemies. We're mortal enemies. But anyway, let me find that notebook again. So I'm going to send you guys the link in the chat too. But it's better if you are in the district if you go in through the email I sent you because then you have more rights than just the link. You can see everything, but you may not be able to print, or not that you'd need to do that anyway. That defeats the purpose of OneNote. But anyway, let me go to File, Share, and let me get that link. And I'm going to put it right here in the chat, so in case anybody does watch. Hopefully nobody watches for my job and heard me say that I have to pretend to hate Google. I don't do a very good job of it. We had our county has just gone through a name change, and we're now numbers. I say we have prison numbers, but we adopted a new system that's like subs and all this different stuff, so it's got a lot of benefits to it. But in that transition, we had to pick a name that would never change. Like if people get divorced, the system wouldn't work anymore if they changed names. So we had to go to numbers. It screwed up all of our Excel surveys. So I was very tempted to use a Google form. Just saying. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and I hope Steve can join us. I really like him. And then right after this, if you guys just want to try something fun, it's not academic at all. But there's I usually host these on Blab, except one of us, Beth, is not on Twitter, so I haven't been using. No, the rest of you may not be on there either. But I have been using Blab. Have you guys tried Blab at all?
No.
Oh my gosh. So if you want to join me, it's me and my friend. And anyway, my friend and I am an English teacher. I just choose to use bad grammar. But anyway, we are going to hop over there, and it's kind of like Hollywood Squares, where it gives you 4 boxes, and all of us can be kind of in a chat like this. But then random people can also call into your show. And so tonight I'm just teaching her how to use it, if you guys want to pop over there afterward just for fun. So that'll be at 9 o'clock, which is why we have to get started here. So anyway, I wanted to start with, because all these ladies are new to gamification. I'm new to it. I'm just a little further along the journey than they are. I wish that I had a classroom to practice it on, which is why I invited these ladies to join this conversation. And so anyway, I wanted to start with kind of the idea of changing our terminology, so that even though we might be expecting, obviously, the content that's related to our class, so my Chihuahua is now breathing in the microphone, excuse me, really professional around here. But anyway, even though we don't necessarily teach a game design class like Mark, what could we do with changing, our math standards into something that sounds gamified? Missions, quests, all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to start by showing something, and then I want you guys to jump in, and if you have examples or whatever that you wanted to share. But I'm going to switch over. I have another really cool tool. It's called ManyCam, M-A-N-Y-Cam. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it allows me to flip from screen share to webcam. So anyway, I wanted to show you guys. I'd mentioned it last week, but for those who are new, I am currently certifying a whole 2 schools as MIE, or Microsoft Innovative Educators. So boo, Google. I'm just kidding. So I've got 173 people, and they are, some of them, worse students than they would ever allow their students to be. Because I just was grading right before this. That's why I was last minute jumping on. I'm like, I've got to finish grading, a couple assignments for my high school teachers. Out of 110, maybe 75 of them turned in their homework. Okay, so this lady I'm at 7 different schools. I train on a different topic every day. I'm slightly overwhelmed. And so on any given day, I'm like, I cannot go back and check homework 3 times, especially if it's not going to be there when I check it again. So I've got all these, like every week they come, or every month they come, and then they also have a take-home assignment. So anyway, my middle school that I'm certifying, I'm like, you know what? I think middle school people in general are, and if I have high school people in the chat, sorry, but I've taught middle and high school, and I think in general middle school people are happier people. And I don't know why that is, because I think you have to be kind of crazy to teach middle school. That's what everybody says. So I'm definitely certifiable anyway. But so I thought instead of my high school, I would, go in the shallow end and try this with my middle school. So all I did was, and these are obviously not their real names, I took them out for privacy. But what I did was I, first of all, put all the teachers on teams. And the teachers that, I used a random name generator, except I then made some modifications. And I don't know, let me zoom in on that because y'all may not be able to see it. So you'll get the concept. I just did it by color. Can y'all see that at all?
It's really kind of small.
Can y'all click on my name? If you click on my face, will it become bigger?
Keep clicking, double clicking.
Okay, let me zoom some more. Is that any better?
Not really.
Okay, well that's okay. You'll get the concept. You can see the colors. You can see colors. Cool. So you can see that I divided my teachers into 6 teams. And what I was going to say is I had like a random name generator. But then I was not going to leave one team having like 15 slackers on it. So if there were people that had lots of yellow on my spreadsheet, which means no work done, I distributed those. Okay. And so all I did was like, you're on team red. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm team red. Like team blue, I think they're going to make spirit wear by the time this thing's over. It's insane. And y'all Cherokee people, these are Dean Russ teachers. We had so much fun. Okay, so they were all excited about being on a colored team. Once they figured out that the teams didn't go down the column, I'm like, no, you're not a rainbow team. You're this color, okay? So anyway, after I put them on teams, I'm like, okay, I'm going to tell you what the teams are for. So I created missions, okay? These are exactly what I wanted them to do anyway. So Vicki, Dolleen, Nicole, different ones who are watching this who have a classroom, I took missions that were things I already wanted them to do. So these are my content. I needed them to complete their homework. And I needed it to be quality homework. And I would prefer that it be on time. So I created missions like on-time homework. Everybody that does that gets, let me look over here, 150 points. So I kind of valued my points more if it was something that was really important to me. Or you're the first one to submit your homework. I don't really care about that, but you know, it made them feel special and motivated, even if they thought they could be the first person. So 250 points. My very favorite one was if you get your whole team caught up. Where was that? Right here. Okay. If you are a member of the first team that has no missing or incomplete assignments, you get 500 points to each person on your team. Okay.
Whoa.
I know, because I want them caught up. Okay. Do you see how I'm getting people to do what I want them to do? Yeah. So I really think gamification should be manipulation.
It is. It's one of those things. Manipulation almost sounds bad, but game designers have spent so much time and research in getting people to do what they want them to do. And so stealing all of their best tricks for education, I'm thinking that's just good teaching.
Yeah. I mean, we've always done that. I had to teach 17 times in a row today. I was at a high school and we did what's called a technology Smackdown, where they travel to 6 different stations. Well, they can pick 3 within that period. They have 15 minutes per station. It was students and teachers both. And so I had this mixed group, and half of them didn't want to be there. The teachers, it was mandatory, and the kids were dragged there by their teachers. And so, does anybody know how to do the cell phone thing in here? I've never tried it.
No.
I don't know either. Anyway. But anyway, they had, can I just call him on here maybe? I don't know. I don't know what that's going to do, but anyway. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to get, Steve is like a master game guy, and I want to really get him on the call, but I don't know how to do it.
If you go up to the top to click where you can invite more people,
yeah,
you can type in their phone number.
Cool. Okay, let's try that really fast. Sorry that I stopped in the middle of a sentence, but that's like me anyway. What I was going to say is, if I have to keep somebody's attention for that long that doesn't want to be there in the first place, then I'm an actress, right? So that's just as much manipulation as any. Hi, Dolleen. Now everybody can see you in person. But, whatever, you're exactly right. It's whatever good teaching is. Yeah. So let me try to invite Steve. It says type a phone number. That's promising. Okay. We'll see if he can get in that way. Cannot be found. Should I put a 1 in front of it? I don't know.
Try, yeah.
1908.
You're in the 404-770 range.
It says it cannot be found. Do I need to put dashes? I mean, are they that specific?
No, they can't. I mean, Skype shouldn't be that uptight about things.
You can try, does he have like a username that he uses? You could try putting in his account name or something to see if...
Okay, that time it looked like, Steve, I'm rooting for you. That time it looked like it, I'll tell him because I don't know if he can hear me. It looked like possibly it went that time when I added proper hyphens and everything. But anyway, so, yeah, I added these missions, and then they have I'm going to switch over to this view one more time, and then I want you guys to give ideas for sure. I also added a leaderboard. And so I've just used Excel for that. And actually, my friend may be a prettier one. It's called Susie Plays Games. She was being sarcastic with me. But it would actually, my plan was, and Mark and Beth, I want you to tell me what you think about this. For the team points, I was thinking that if I appointed like a team captain and gave them, just those people, the rights to my spreadsheet, that after I had approved points, like I don't know if I should maybe write them down, say your points have been approved or something, if I were going to do this with students, then that team captain could enter the points into the group spreadsheet. Does that make sense, or do you think there's an easier way to do it?
The way that I do it on mine, I have a Google form,
Yeah.
and I have it set up with all of my students. So all of my students are the question, and then it's just a text box where I can put in the points that they've earned.
Yeah.
Then what I do is the same way you would in Excel. I just have formulas sum up each of the columns with all their points,
Yeah.
and then I have it plug it into the leaderboard. So as soon as I plug it into my form, it gets tallied up, it immediately gets put into the leaderboard, and their points can kind of live update.
Okay, but you don't have your kids grouped in teams at all. I think you said that last time.
I did last year, and the kids just weren't interested in it. So I didn't do it this year because it was just an extra step. I do have them in guilds. I'm a civics teacher, so their guilds are the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch.
Yeah.
But I've just found that they're not as interested in that part of it.
Okay.
So, I
So
just
it was
kind of
more
dropped
work
it.
for you for no reason, basically.
Right.
Okay.
If it was something, I surveyed my kids at the end of the year about the different aspects of the course, and one of the questions was, how often do you check the guild leaderboard? And all their answers were like, never. I was like, well, then we're not going to do that.
Did you change your account address or contact number?
Yeah, you had her old phone number in there.
Oh, I'm just double
Is
checking
that
because I don't check.
Steve?
Let's see if it is.
Okay, that's fine.
That sounds like somebody. Is that Steve?
Oh, did she hear me?
Oh, sorry, that was me. I forgot to mute.
Okay. Yeah, I've got dogs. She's got a husband. It's okay. We're good. So anyway, I think I told him I was going to email him, but then maybe I just erased that. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, so the guilds weren't worth. I found that for the teachers, and I think for the teachers it was more of an embarrassment thing. They're like, when they see that their assistant principal's on their team or whatever, that's kind of embarrassing for them to be, bad. But y'all, this is the crazy thing. I have had this same, I pull out all the stops. I knew from the very beginning that people were not going to do their homework because I've taught too long to believe that adults behave any differently than children. So I put together this spreadsheet, and then I put it right there in the OneNote notebook for everybody to see. And we are certifying the full staff. So I'm talking about the principal of each building is on this spreadsheet, along with all their yellows if they haven't been doing stuff, and the assistant principals. And they have never cared that they were yellow. I mean, a few people. I've had outstanding assignments from November, October. As soon as I put them on teams, you would not believe it. When I said you're on team blue, and they wrote down who was on their team, and they're like, I didn't know about, we're going to talk about badges in a minute, but they're like, I didn't care about those stupid badges. Those are just for fun, I thought. I'm like, they are still for fun. But now, because it's helping their team, they care about getting their stupid badges. So, anyway, I just think it's really, I forgot to turn myself, there we go. I think it's just really cool. And I came home and told my husband, he goes, wait a minute. He said, I think he had to rewind. He's like, these were adults? You were training adults and they like this? I said, yeah, you wouldn't believe it. And I got an email later that night that a girl that had been like notoriously behind had done all her work. She copied her assistant principal on it. The assistant principal wrote back, go team blue. Another girl, the counselor wrote me and she said, hey, your survey's not working. And then she wrote, just a girl trying to get her badges. I mean, so it just... These are adults and they're having fun with it. So anyway, okay, thoughts on any of that? We talked about teams. What else about, we're going to talk more specifically about leaderboards and badges, but, just the whole concept of taking your content and making it a game. Like, what have you noticed about that? What would you recommend?
I think the reason why it works is, grades, completion, things like that, that's fairly arbitrary, especially to our kids. They don't start making that connection, my work effort connects to my grade, until they're like juniors in high school.
Yeah.
That's when they start figuring that out. So for a lot of our kids, just saying, oh, well, you're going to get a D on this, they don't care. Adding those
You
game
think?
elements gives them a sense of purpose.
Yeah.
It's now beyond just an arbitrary grade. It's, oh my gosh, I have a reason for doing this. For your teachers, it was, before it was, okay, I've got to do all of this stuff. It's just another thing that I have to do in my day. Now they have a greater purpose, though. It's making their team look good. It's working together with their friends and their colleagues, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
It's just giving, I think I got this from Jane McGonigal, but epic meaning is what she kept saying. Yes, she's my curly-haired hero. I love her. But yeah, it's that epic meaning that they need. Why am I doing this?
I love that epic meaning.
And kind of to go hand in hand with that, Daniel Pink's book, Drive, where he talks about autonomy, mastery, and purpose. He's looking at more of a corporate kind of idea, but found out once money is not the issue, you really don't get better work out of people by giving them more money. But if you let them do their work their way, if you let them become better at their job, and you let them know that their job has meaning and purpose, you will have people like driving themselves sick to do better and better work because of those three elements. And so, for students, it's the same kind of ideas. Let me show you that I can do the multiplication, using Minecraft. If I can show you, I can, do division with a graphic, just sock puppet theater, who knows what, but letting them do their work their way. But then you can say, you have to show me you understand the 3 branches of government. You have to show me, you can diagram a sentence. You can make up whatever diagrams you want, but you have to show me parts of speech. But Beth's right, that purpose, that this has meaning, this really has teeth. It's not just busy work. I think that's where we lose so much engagement from our students, because they've grown up with, here's a worksheet, do this, here's a work, and then it takes forever to get those worksheets back. Anything
Because it's pointless.
Because it's pointless. It's just, you're doing it to grind. Anything that can have meaning, anything that can have purpose, you want that engagement.
So I think last week there was kind of a disparity, because when I think of gamification, I think like, let's go whole hog. I want to make my whole class a game. I think of like the structural side of gamification. So Beth and I connected in that way. And I had Jim Pedrick on here last week, who has designed amazing games to teach English.
Wow.
But I'm more like, I don't want to have to create games all the time. I like the structure of the game. But then, yes, let's add games in there. But
Right.
I'm looking at Vicki and Dolleen and Nicole and saying, okay, Dolleen, you teach math? Okay, so Dolleen's teaching math. I don't want her to feel pressured that she has to create a math game. Now, we do have some available she can use, but just taking her same math stuff and making badges, leaderboards, and she teaches older elementary, so I think they would really get that. And Vicki, yours are 3rd grade, so I think they would like it too. But anyway, I think we might see some kids rise to the top that we didn't expect. And then maybe add in, so instead of just math worksheet, you get on the leaderboard, that's going to start to get old, but then add in those games. But I think I would start at the beginning, just restructuring. Is that what you guys would say?
Yeah, very much so. And one of the reasons I love that Jamie Madigan book, and why I love Jane McGonigal so much, they talk about why games work the way they do. And I think so many times we get into this, well, we're just going to play a game because it's fun.
Right.
The game design class that I'm teaching this year, we actually found a book called The Theory of Fun by Rafe Koster. And he talks about the neurology and the brain chemistry of having fun and what actually goes on when you're enjoying something. And I think before we start saying, okay, we're going to do this, but make it a game. We're going to do this, but make it a game. Taking that, day or two to really understand what makes a game a game. Mm-hmm. And then taking your math class and math class becomes a game.
Right.
That becomes huge. That you see students racing to get to class because they're playing a game.
Yeah.
It just happens to be math class. But for them, the experience is the exact same as playing a game.
And I found, I was telling them last week, I found like ClassCraft, where it's like World of Warcraft for your class. But I think maybe that wouldn't go over so well in Cherokee County. Some of the healing powers that I sent it to the trainers in our department. They were like, Susie, that's kind of like culty. You might want to run that by. And I didn't really get that much into it yet, but I love that idea. Do y'all know of any other sites that do that similar thing, but it's not so witchy? I don't know. That even sounds, but
not to that degree, because I've tried to find things. I would love to be able to have my kids customize their avatars and have their actual characters that grow, because that's one of the things that's so fun when you are playing a game is as you grow, as your abilities grow, so does your character, your game character, and you get more gear and you get stronger. And
the snowball puppy distracted us all. We love her. Him, her.
But, I would love to be able to do that, but ClassCraft is the only thing that I've seen that does that as seamlessly as you would really need it to be.
Yeah, I was really impressed by it. Some of I just don't know that would go over. After I asked our trainers, they're like, Susie, maybe you want to consider if we'll get in trouble for doing this. But I do know that like on the elementary level, ClassDojo is something that could kind of fit into this model because you can customize. So your badges basically are made for you, but you can also add behaviors or whatever. So anything else y'all wanted to say about kind of the terminology, missions, quests, any other terminology you think they need to know? We talked about action points last week, leaderboard. Is there anything else that y'all think we should talk about as far as the terminology that we would present to students?
I think when you're talking about presenting it to students, and this is at least what I found with when I was teaching K through 4. If you're excited and you tell them we're playing a game, they'll be excited for about the first 5 or 6 minutes of it. But then if they figure out that it's just chocolate covered broccoli, it's going to tank hard.
Right.
And so I think we really have to think like our students and say, is this a game or is this chocolate covered broccoli?
Right.
And really, really be honest with them, which I think is hard for us as teachers sometimes to say, hey, look, I need you to do this worksheet, partly because it is review, because I want you doing your times tables fast, and I'm giving you XP for it as part of the game. And so really being, the clear objective, the hidden goal that we talked about at GATC.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what I want from you, but I'm going to let you discover something else along the way.
And you gave a good example, and I'm trying to remember.
Presidential knife fight.
Oh, I love that. Talk about that. That was such a cool project. Beth, you will love this.
It was fun. It started off with some students asking me if I was going to teach a class in history. And I'm like horrible at history. And I told them the only thing I know how to do in history class is a presidential knife fight. And their eyes lit up. It's like, what is that? And I said, okay, well, you know, the brackets for, you know, college basketball, you start off with the brackets, and you put all 44 presidents on it, but you have to research and prove how these two presidents matching up, who would win the knife fight. And then each bracket goes further and further down, and you're constantly defending who is your choice in a presidential knife fight until you get down to the final four, and then you have to do like poster boards and an essay or a video, but you have to really prove, you know, did they have military training? Were they a pacifist? Were they an academic? Were they did they weightlift? Why would, you know, Teddy Roosevelt versus George Washington, who would win? And so they really started getting into this because all their thing is, you know, all of this. I'm going, look, you're doing tons of research. You have to read all 44 presidents. And they're like, no, we don't care. We want to do this. You have to go tell Miss Landers. We have to do this. and it really became this thing of they read so much about all of the presidents and why, you know, Eisenhower was a general and Roosevelt had this, and why we haven't had any presidents lately with military training. And they learned so much about presidents, and all I told them was defend your choice. You know, who would win in a knife fight? And so the clear objective was, you know, make the brackets. But then the hidden goal underneath it all was, you're going to learn a lot about the lives of the presidents. And so being that kind of, I had a parent call it Trojan horse teaching. I've got them focused on something over here, and I'm sneaking what I want them to learn, you know, through a back door. And they love it because they have those aha moments. They have those epic meanings that it really kind of catches their attention.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I loved, you know, presidential knife fight for history class.
That's awesome. So and I don't think it would hurt to ask kids what they think is fun. I mean, today in my training, I was showing them Canva. Do y'all ever use Canva?
Yeah.
Yeah, really beautiful graphics, and I really like it a lot. And so I was like, who in here uses Instagram? And like, of course, they all use Snapchat, but Canva doesn't really relate to that. But I was telling them how they could make all different kinds of things. And so I said, who is like old people and still uses Facebook? And I had a couple people ask. But, you know, I'm 34. I'm not that old, but I'm way older than a high school kid. And so I don't know what high school kids think is fun. I might think I do, but I only know the limited amount that they tell me. So I don't think it would hurt to ask a kid. You know, I think a kid's going to light up. Like, I'm just guessing, Mark, that you were a gamer when you were a kid and probably are still a gamer, okay? And so that kid that may not be otherwise engaged in our class, if we mention games and what makes this game fun, you'd have a kid go off on a rant. So I don't think it would be that hard to investigate. And I was relating back to Dolleen's question. I love what you said, you know, clear objective, hidden goal, or am I saying it backwards? Yes, clear objective, hidden goal. Okay. So, you know, here's what I need you to do, but what can we embed in it? And then what is going to make it that not chocolate covered broccoli, but, you know, the actual fun. So I want to talk badging for a minute, if you guys don't mind. And so if you guys want to share any badging resources you use, Beth, I don't know if Schoology has badges built in.
They do. They're very generic, but it's so quick and easy to make your own. So all you have to do is in the badges, click create. It's like a drop-down create. You add whatever picture you want. You type a little description, and it's there ready to go.
Cool. I was going to tell you guys about a site that I use. It's called Credibly. Have you ever used Credibly?
Mm-mm.
And so I'll show you on my screen, even though that's probably not going to help very much, but I'm going to go ahead and transition over to that. So Credibly is, and Bitmoji. Do y'all have a Bitmoji of yourselves?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you must, yes. It puts your face in in just all these different situations. And so when I've had a day or whatever, there's one that looks like it's getting punched in the face, and I send that to my other trainer friends or whatever. So anyway, I want to go ahead and tell you guys, oh my gosh, I just noticed this. I have shiny paperclip syndrome sometimes, I'm sorry. But right here, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a bright yellow bubble, and it says I've given 299 credits. 1 week ago, when I was at that school and I introduced the teams, I only had 100 and something badges claimed. It has doubled that amount just since I told them they were on Team Red, Team Blue. So thus proving my point. But Credibly is great because it has, I'll show you on my created, and I'll try to, can you see anything there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, you can at least see the color or whatever. Anyway, so my students, my teachers had to learn Microsoft Sway. So I think when I think of Sway, I think of Steve Urkel. I know Mark came and took my class. I think about Sway, but so I made them a little badge that says Sway Master, and I described it with "I'm wearing you down," okay? Because I think of him always trying to persuade Laura to date him. So when they learned Excel survey, I just try to make them different colors, but they're really easy to create on Credibly. And then when you're ready to give them, you just create a claim code where you don't have to really manage it. Now, if you're doing this with students, you might have them give you proof of what they did. Like one of the options on here is that, do you want to have them describe why they deserve this badge or whatever, and then you can give it to them. So you have that option as well. But anyway, all the badges are really customizable. And so I would recommend Credibly. That's a really fun one. So what else for badges? Mark, do you badge? You're muted, Mark.
Sorry, I got the little pop-up that said my mic was, I was burping or something, and so I don't badge, but not because I have anything against badging.
Yeah.
I just because I've got smaller classes. Anytime the students do something cool, I just walk over and do the high five.
Yeah.
And in fact, I had to stand on a chair in the middle of the lunchroom because a student had done just an incredible amount of work, like even above and beyond homework after school on his own. And then he sent me the link to what he had done. And so I dragged the chair into the middle of the lunchroom and stood on it and said, I demand the highest of high fives for this kind of work. and the class, the lunchroom all cheered for him.
You're so cute. Yeah, my kids are going to have to go to Galloway. I mean, I'm a public school girl, but I'm just saying, game design, and they actually clap for each other. This is blowing me away.
Well, and part of that, and I don't know that it's necessarily Galloway. It's just Galloway lets me be goofy.
Yeah.
And so
I'm goofy, but they don't like it. Maybe because I taught high school. No, I would have maybe 5 kids. I had a girl literally this weekend ask me, she goes, "Are you for real? Or are you doing this on purpose?" Like she thought I had a mental problem. So I love it that you were able to stand on a chair. I would totally do that and not be embarrassed, but they would die. They would melt into the floor.
But no, I think it comes back to that, what Beth was talking about. It has meaning. Mm-hmm. If you get a badge for showing up,
right?
That's good. Everyone gets a sticker,
right?
But when you've really earned it, when you have to defend, this is why I've earned this badge,
right?
Then I think that's where badges really have their potency.
And I think too, I don't know where I read this, but there was a couple things. First of all, one of the coolest things I saw when a kid leveled up, and so Vicki, Dolleen, Nicole, leveling up, from my understanding, and y'all clarify if I'm an idiot, Mark and Beth, but when you reach the next unit or the next level of difficulty, then we level up, like you would in a game. And let me I keep forgetting that I'm not projecting on there. There we go. I'm doing like the hand quotation marks and nobody can see me because it's still on my desktop. So there you go. There they were. So when you level up, then you're moving to like the next, you've earned your way through addition, and now we're moving on to, whatever. So with leveling up, he has a button on the board, and the kid literally comes hits it, and it goes level up, like just in the middle of the class, and they loved that. So I'm like, I'm definitely, if I can get somebody to do this with me, once we get started, then we have to have a level up button that the kid comes to hit.
Yeah.
It makes level up, kind of thing. But also with the badges, I heard an idea where you can obviously digitally display your badges, but I've seen too where people have let the kids print them out. With little kids, I think they love to print. So letting them print out their badges and put them up on your wall or, outside your door or whatever, I think would be really cool too. And I don't make my badges are not the same as grades. So like when you accomplish a task, when you learn something, I might give you a badge for that, but that's not necessarily related to grades or whatever. So,
a friend of mine, his name's Tom Barkley. He works at Cliff Valley School down in Atlanta. He teaches a computer science class. He actually 3D printed badges.
Oh.
And it was you had to not only take this class but pass it with I think an 85 or higher.
Yeah.
But then when you did it, he actually handed you and it was like the size of a poker chip.
Yeah.
But it said, I passed CSI. And he would like make a big production of, okay, you've earned your badge.
Yeah.
And we're doing them out like that. So yeah, I mean, printing them, turning them into even the little, like the Avery press and seal badges that you can make.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh, I thought you meant press and seal wrap. I'm an idiot. I thought you'd take like Glad press and seal and stick it over top of it and make it stick. Y'all, I'm tired. I keep thinking it's Friday and it's not. I said the same thing about Canvas 17 times a day. Same jokes, same, I said, how many are in a couple? And they would say 3, ha ha ha, and so we all day long. So I'm going to say things that don't make any sense.
I haven't used press and seal. I have used contact paper.
Okay.
I contact papered an entire door to turn it into a dry erase board so that the students could just come right on the door. And that became just the coolest. And it was a high traffic area. And we were doing this See, Think, Wonder from Harvard's Making Truth Invisible program. And I would have a little picture up by the door and then markers. And they could write, what do you see? What do you think? What do you wonder? And it just became, that's how they started their day. They would come by, look at what's on the door, write a little something, and then hang off. But so yeah, even Glad press and seal. If it gets them engaged, let's use it.
I don't think it would stick. I just was losing my mind for a minute. I love that. So PowerPoint is a great place to make badges if you just want to be basic or whatever. But I really like Credibly because they're already made and you just pick the border, pick the color. I mean, it's really easy. And you can even, if you want to get nerdy, you can use a hexadecimal code for a specific color. I just learned that when I started with Canva. So each color, has a specific code. So look that up if you want to go super nerd tonight. So they're built into some programs. I think Edmodo has them too, if anybody's using Edmodo, which our district does subscribe to, PowerPoint. And then Vicki, share what you did.
I made a mix for my kids to learn prepositional phrases, and for each step of the mix, they got badges. So there's 4 badges, and when they get to a certain point, it says in the mix, go to Mrs. Roark and get your badge. And
oh, very cool.
And then I also had a little tally chart on the door where they can X off when they've got their badges, and it really worked so far this week.
Yeah, so they put them, you said, in their journals, and then but they still got the public recognition of having the marks on the door. I like that. I like the combination. That's a really good idea. And like I said, my teachers didn't care about them, but now that I'm giving them 50 points for claiming my stupid badges, then they care. I'm like, I'm a nerd, and so are a couple of other people. Like, there are 3 people who have been faithfully claiming them, even though they're like, what do we do with these? I'm like, well, you can put them in your email signature. Not anymore, because we just got rebranded this week, so sorry. We're going to be boring on our signatures. But, you could put them on on your Aspen page, which is what we use for our websites or whatever. There are things you can do with it, or just have it for the satisfaction. I don't know. So I think we talked a little bit. So we've talked terminology, we've talked badges, leaderboard. Is there anything else y'all wanted to say about leaderboard? Any other, is there anywhere where we can get, I don't know, is there like a template somewhere that'll allow you not only to do team, and I know we can do formulas and stuff, and somewhere in the back of my mind I know how to do all that, but I know obviously adding up individual points is really easy, but is there something, is it like a VLOOKUP, or what do you use to make it feed into maybe like a team spreadsheet? Is there a shortcut for that?
In Google Sheets, all you have to do is you can just input that you want a number from a different sheet to go into a certain place. So I just type in a formula. So I have, the student's gamer tag, and then under their XP, I just put a formula that matches up with their cell on the sheet where it tabulates all their stuff, and then it plugs it in.
So for individual, but that would not be like your guild or anything.
No, but it works the same way. Oh gosh, how did I do that last year?
And it may not be something that really, you can talk through or whatever, but if you have any shortcuts for that, because that's my biggest thing. I really don't want the students to have their hands in putting the points in, but I also don't want to be in charge of that. So if there's something where I could put them on the individual sheet and then they could all be fed into like one cell on another sheet, if that makes sense. So it's adding all of those at any given time.
Yeah. I'll have to look up how to do it, but it has to do with like pivot tables, because when you have the guilds labeled, you can tell the pivot table to pick up on these specific labels, and then it'll take all the scores just from them. But I'll have to look up the steps and send that to you.
That would be fabulous. I would like you even more than I already do. Because she's like, I have an open classroom. Come visit me in Florida. I just really want to go to Florida, but right now it's not going to happen. So you guys have been fabulous. Vicki or Nicole or Dolleen, do y'all have any other questions? And I know we have at least 10 or 15 other people who are going to watch the replay. We just can't all tune in on the same night. So anyway, do you guys have any other questions that these gamer experts could help us with?
I don't, except for I'm going to give it a shot, and then I'm going to have 20 million questions.
Yeah, it truly, make 1,000 mistakes. That is the biggest. I will tell you this, and my sons actually were the ones who got me hooked on it. There's a YouTube channel called Extra Credits, and they're like little 6-minute videos, and they're all like this really stick figure kind of animation, but they talk about the different aspects of game design and game works, and the one I play, like every time I start a new class, first day of class, there's one called Fail Faster, and they talk about, don't feel like you have to get everything right before you start. Start something, do anything, and then just fail, and then realize why you fail and change that. And then when you fail, do that. And like some of my kids are like, oh God, are you going to make us watch the Fail Faster video again? Yes, I am. Until you get it right, I'm making you watch this video. But yeah, I mean, truly, start something, fail faster, and watch these extra credit videos. They're hysterical.
And if Dolleen, sorry, go ahead, Beth.
Oh no, that's okay. I was just gonna say, before you dive in head first, I would, watch Jay McGonigal's TED Talk, if nothing else. She's written wonderful books, but, that's kind of a primer. But understand the purpose behind the elements of a good game. If you understand what it does to people, why they get invested in a game, I think it really helps you set things up better, because you can add in badges, you can add in a leaderboard, but when you understand the fundamental reasons why they work, it allows you to do that more effectively, and it allows you to do it with purpose. So I would just say do a little bit of research, look up Jay McGonigal's TED Talk. That is a wonderful primer on why this works.
Is that Jane?
Jane.
Yep.
Jane.
And McGonigal is McGonigal. IGAL.
Okay, thank you.
Very cool. And what I was going to say to Dolleen is, once you watch that or whatever, you know why you're doing it, but just start with some of those basic elements because, like I said, it made a difference in what I was doing in one day. I mean, in one period. I did make one group angry. They're like, this is ridiculous that you're posting all our scores publicly. I have had those scores posted, and not even scores, like yellow boxes. I've had them posted since November. This was the first. It proves that gamification works because it's the first time they ever bothered to look. They're like, okay, where's that spreadsheet again, which everybody else has been looking at since I started posting it, and I told them from the beginning. So it's proof that it works, and I just had one grouchy group, but the rest of them were just awesome. They're like, Team Blue, and, we're going to win. And I forgot to tell you guys what the prizes were so you would know why they were so motivated, okay? So this is a middle school. I taught it for 7 years, and there's a reason why I left. I'll just leave it at that. Taught 8th grade specifically for 7 years. And so anyway, I offered the top person on the leaderboard. I'm going to come in and teach 2 classes of their choice. So they I said, I don't care where you go. You can ask Miss Cooper where she wants to send you. But, I don't care if they go to Starbucks. That'll be up to her. But, you can go somewhere. You do not come in your class. I'm going to close the door. I will do all the discipline. You will not hear from me. I will plan the lesson. I said, we're going to do it after testing because I'm going to do something with technology that may or may not. You don't want me teaching your math class math. It's been a long time. It's not that I couldn't do it, but I might fail fast, Yeah. So, the winning team, I am buying with my own money. I will buy them pizza, or I will make the Paula Deen banana pudding that will make you want to slap your mama. So they were so excited about the prizes, specifically the one of me teaching their class. That's what also motivated them. So I think motivation comes from, again, knowing what your kids would like and what they would, I really like. If you guys haven't gone into Beth's sample class that we posted last week, then you really should, because you can see exactly what her leaderboard looks like, what her challenges are, what her you can actually look at every part of the class, and then also look at what her rewards are. So I think that was kind of cool. She thought about, and none of them, I don't think you did anything that cost money, right? No,
if it costs money, I'm not going to do it because I don't have any money.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I said today, teachers make $3 a day, and this one kid was like, do teachers really make $3 a day? I said, no, sweetie, we don't. That was an exaggeration. So anyway, you guys were fabulous. I'm going to jump over to that Blab. If you want to join me, you don't have to, but it's blab.im. And you do have to be on Twitter, so Beth, you're not going to be able to tune in unless you cave in and specially make a Twitter just for this. But it's it's blab.im, and then you can just look for me on there, and you'll see the show that's in progress. Okay, so I'm going to hop on over to that. I'm going to go ahead and stop this recording. So, hold on.